Well, there are a lot of bored rugby players putting videos online of themselves dancing on TikTok and doing various other things. But one man in particular has put a few videos out there and actually has a little bit of talent. So we thought we'd get him on the show. Harlequin Centre and USA International Paul Lasike joins us. How are you, mate?
Good, thank you. Good. Thanks for having me.
Paul, thanks for coming on, mate, and thanks for bringing joy to my life when I thought that the tic-tac was taken out of it. Seeing Danny Kerr on there doing, he actually dances quite well, to be honest, but it's not my thing. But hearing you sing, and you've got a voice like an angle like me, isn't she lovely? I'm absolutely loving it. So just talk us through your newfound fame as a musician.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. No, I've grown up around music. My mum was a music teacher. We had instruments around the house, and so that was kind of my outlet from, playing sports and other things. And so I loved it. Growing up through high school. I was in, bands and performing arts groups and whatnot. And so it's probably, it's one of my favorite hobbies, jam around and sing and play instruments.
And a lot of the boys that join new clubs have their initiations, and when you play for your country, you have to sing when you get your first cap. Did you tell the boys at Quins that you could sing pretty well before you had initiation? You had to sing, or was it a big surprise to them too?
No, it was a bit of a surprise to them. Everyone got up and did like a little musical item or shared a joke or something, and I got up there and sung "Isn't She Lovely?" and the boys pretty much just went wild, and they didn't really know that I sort of love that thing. So it wasn't too bad of an initiation for myself.
To be fair, no one's going to tell you a shit singer the size of you anyway. I don't think. They'll just, however badly you sang.
And has been in lockdown as well, Paul. Has that given you more time? I mean, it must be great to have a hobby like that where you can play the guitar. I mean, apart from it sounding amazing, it looks cool as shit as well, I'll be honest with you. But has it given you a bit of time to practice the guitar? What have you been up to in lockdown?
Yeah, it has, man. It's allowed me a lot of time to just pick it up and kind of spend more time playing it, and figure out songs here and there, and even post stuff. Yeah, like you guys mentioned, like otherwise I wouldn't really do that otherwise. But it's basically allowed me to kind of focus on a few things and work at a talent that I've been given, and so it's been awesome to kind of share that with other people and with all of this time that we have.
And you mentioned the talent that you have, and we've all seen that showcased. Just talk to me about the thoughts on Danny Kerr and his dancing techniques with his lovely wife.
I love him, mate. Honestly, man, he's smooth. He's got the moustache rocking. Everything's smooth about it. So I wish I could dance like that, to be honest, but that's something that I would never put online, my dancing skills.
I was going to say, Paul, because us big lads, we struggle to move that well, don't we? We go route one. I mean, I've seen you take some short balls this season at Quins and barrel over fly halves, and I'm glad I'm retired, to be honest. But how's everything going at Quins now? Because I know it's tough being on lockdown, but it's been pretty good for you over the last few months before the lockdown, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, it was good. I'm really enjoying it at the club. As far as rugby is concerned, and to get a bit of game time, that kind of stint before the lockdown happened, it was really cool to be able to just get in there and mix and mingle with the boys and play some rugby. So I enjoyed it. I enjoy the club, and the boys are fantastic, like you mentioned, Danny and a heap of other boys. And so I'm really enjoying it there.
I was going to ask as well, because I've worked with Paul Gustard as well with Guzzy, and he's really creative in the way that he does the meetings, and we've seen that some of them have been posted online, which I think has been brilliant. He's brought a new kind of culture to Quins that it was probably lacking in years probably leading up to that. But what's been happening during lockdown? I'm hearing rumours of different clubs doing Zoom calls, and they're having motivational speakers. Some of them are doing group yoga sessions. Has Guzzy got you guys doing anything?
We have like a nutritionist and stuff, and he'll post like little little slideshows and things like that. And then we also have, he's like a mindfulness sort of kind of a spiritual sort of a person. I don't know really what to call them, but it's called mindfulness. And basically he has like live Zoom sessions that the boys can tune into if they want. And, there's cool outlets that the coaches have put together. They've put together, strength and conditioning plans and little exercises and targets that we can try and hit. And so all of those things are kind of there to help the boys, keep sane, really.
And how hard has it been to train on your own? Because I'm finding it really tough to do any training whatsoever. But actually at top level and to stay fit, and I'm sure someone of your size, like myself, you enjoyed the odd cheat meal here or there. How hard is it to motivate yourself to train individually and to sort of bust yourself to the same intensity that you do when you're all training together?
Yeah, I will say it's a lot more harder to kind of get that motivation. When you're in a team environment, and you have other boys to push you. It's difficult way, but it's kind of the accountability. Like, yeah, I'm like yourself. Like, I love a cheat meal. I love my food really, and so it's been really hard to like sort of maintain that physical state that you have during the season. But all I'm really trying to do is just I'm trying to keep it on my best and make sure it doesn't get like off the cliff, mate. And so it's been hard, but it's been good. Also, my wife has been pushing me along as well to stay in shape. And but yeah, it's hard. That's the bottom line. But at the end of the day, as we're professional athletes and stuff, it's that accountability that we have to put towards ourselves each and every day, so that when things do kick off again, it's a smoother transition getting back into it.
And go on, make me salivate a little bit. Just tell me, what is your cheat meal? What's your favourite cheat meal? Because I've got loads of them.
Right. Honestly, mate, there's too many. Like, I love burgers, bro. So anything to do with a burger, there's Five Guys. Yeah, that's kind of my go-to after a game sort of a meal. I'll hit up Five Guys on the way home.
Mate, good has that for breakfast, mate. Paul, I wanted to talk a little bit about USA Rugby and not the state of the game over there, because we know that the MLR has picked up a load of momentum with some superstars going over there to play. Obviously, Marnonu probably being the highest profile. Bastro was over there, but I've been over there and done a documentary and spoken to a few people. What I found really interesting, you might be able to answer this, is the disconnection between the MLR and USA Rugby. And we've seen that USA Rugby this week, last week, they've had a big financial problems that have now been showcased, and it doesn't seem that they're going to be sustainable. Have you got any insight into the USA Rugby at the minute?
Yeah, basically the stuff that I really saw, first of all, was through the media, or the stint that they're going through legally and whatnot. But I know there is between MLR and USA Rugby. To what extent, I don't know too much about that, to be completely honest. But it's kind of a sad situation with some of the things that's going on with USA Rugby, because it's at the end of the day, it's a really hard thing to get off in America is rugby. And so the MLR is kind of trying their best. USA Rugby is trying their best, and it's basically with this coronavirus and stuff going on, it really just doesn't help. But that's basically all I know about it. Is I don't know too much about it, to be completely honest. But yeah, I'm hoping that it takes off, man. I think it'll be awesome for the country, and I'm behind it, but I don't know exactly what state USA Rugby or MLR are in right now.
Well, let's just look back at your history then, I suppose. You grew up in New Zealand, didn't you? And then moved over to the US and went on to play in the NFL. Can you just give our millions of listeners a little bit of insight into playing in the NFL and what it was like?
Yeah, like you said, I grew up in New Zealand, but then I moved to USA when I was just at high school, and basically did college over there, and I walked on. So I basically tried on to give, American football a shot in college. And I got a scholarship to play at a university called BYU. And then during my senior year, I had the opportunity to, like go to, it's called a pro day. Basically, it's like a combine, but each university holds their own little pro day. It's a combine. And so you do all of the tests and whatnot. And then draft day rolled around, and I didn't get drafted, but I got signed on to Arizona as an undrafted free agent. And then going through rookie mini camps, I'm sure a lot of people have seen Hard Knocks and whatnot, the kind of the cutthroat of the industry. But went through training camp and ended up getting cut during the final cuts at Arizona. But then Chicago claimed me off waivers. So they picked up my contract, and I did 2 seasons in Chicago, 1 on the practice squad, and then 1 on the active roster. So But it was awesome. It's a different world, to rugby. It's completely different, the culture, the fans, game day environments and things like that. And so I enjoyed it. It was a short stint. It's extremely difficult to stay in the NFL, but the 2 years that I did there, I really enjoyed it and enjoyed the experience, that it brought to me and my family.
And obviously, having been a part of it, you're an avid fan of it now. You watch it. Have you got a favourite team? And secondly to that, how much of a close eye are you keeping on Christian Wade over there, having come the reverse way to what he's done?
Yeah. No, I keep up. I keep up with Chicago, obviously, and Arizona, obviously, because those are my two teams that I've been around. And so I wasn't a huge American football fan going into it. It was more just out of curiosity to give it a go. But now that I'm finished, I do keep up with Chicago and Arizona. And then as for Christian Wade, I do keep a close eye, just to see how he's doing and stuff. And I think he's doing great, man. To be honest, I think last year, his first year, he was in the practice squad. But he's got a great chance to be on the 53-man roster, So I think it's awesome of guys that are, taking, whether it's permanently or temporarily taking a break to give it a shot, because it's an awesome experience for them to experience.
Paul, do you want to give us a quick rendition of your go-to song at the moment?
Oh yeah, sweet, mate. Well, I thought it was going to be a little sing-along with you guys as well that I could sing, and I was thinking of Sweet Caroline, since that's an easy.
Oh yes, please.
Where it began, I can't begin to know it, but I know it's going on.
Yeah.
Was in the spring.
That was me.
In the summer. Who'd have believed you'd come along?
Hands. I can't touch your hands, but I'm pretending.
Touching hands.
Reach out.
Touching me.
Touching you. Sweet Caroline. Good times never seem so good.
So good.
So good.
So good.
So good.
So good.
So good. Oh yes, sir.
Absolute legend. Big round of applause everywhere. Hey, that's awesome. That is awesome. I mean, imagine being that good at rugby, that big, that strong, and being able to sing like that. He's just a winner. A winner in every changing room, mate. Well done. Awesome work.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Right, Paul, thank you very much for coming on the show. Thank you for singing to us, and best of luck staying in shape. Stay away from those burgers, mate.
Sounds good. Cheers. Thanks, guys.
Cheers, Paul. Top man.
Cheers, Paul. Thank you, buddy.
All right, bye-bye.